that I hate the most is that I just did half a stream without anybody on. So, but now that we've gotten this out of the way, I need to take a deep breath here for a second and get my thoughts together. No? Is that cool? Everybody? So, my name is Daniel Webb, and welcome to my channel. I am the recovering addict, and I like to do it live because this is my camera right here. I got a handful of them here, so Hey God, man, thank you for today, and everybody who may or may not be here listening, and I just pray that you'll use this time to do something specifically good. Outside of that, God, I really don't care. It's your thing, not mine. So that's what we're getting here, is my hands up saying I can't do this anymore, and I need something bigger than me. So that's what we're all seeing, and God, this is your show. So just calm my nerves and slow me down and help me collect my thoughts. Just be and do exactly what you'd have me be and do. Amen. Stuff works, man. So, only problem is I'm having trouble remembering or knowing what I've said and what I haven't, because I tend to go pretty unscripted. Not so much now. Now I'm scripted wouldn't be the right word, but prepared. So yeah, that's my working camera, but I have to monitor this, so I'm not going to be making a lot of eye contact. So welcome to my channel. Welcome to God's show. Welcome to my recovery. And this is what it looks like in live, in real time, and where I'm at today. So it's funny, I had a friend that reached out to me. This happens all the time. I have people who I've surrounded myself by accountability and people who love me and care about me, and it's a genuine thing, right? So, and it's sometimes like I don't even know who they are, and my good friend, and this happens daily, but over the past 2 weeks, it's been, my good friends and mentors dropping in, and at first they'll hint about it, but then they'll get kind of persistent too. So I want to update you all where I'm at, what I'm doing, and how my recovery is looking, and where I've been. I want to call it probably 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks. It's a mixed bag. First off, this is for those of you who've not been here before, and I would say the newcomers are quite high at this point, so I should go over this. I've been an addict for 37 years out of my 47. So, and I'm not dead. But outside of that, there's not been a lot of value derived from my life. And I'm a performer, and I don't like that. So I decided to, there was a lot of things. Number one, I'm highly motivated by people that give up on me, or people that doubt me. So let me back up a little bit. So it's who I am. I'm just a guy. I have 2 sons. I'm a single father. I've been through hell and back, and I decided to stay healthy, that I needed accountability, that NA wasn't working for me, AA wasn't working for me, Jesus wasn't working for me, relationships weren't working for me, nothing was working for me, and out of just a fear of dying, I just started praying. I'm like, God, I don't know what this looks like, but being the poster boy for addiction is getting kind of old, and I don't want the value of my life to be me dying You know, I would like for it to be me living. So that's how we ended up here. It started out as video games. It still is. I mean, all the moving pieces have a purpose. It's just that being a one-man show, and I want to talk a little bit about volunteering too, as well, here in a little bit. And this is not going to be long. I've got a group I got to meet with here in a little bit. So I think that's basically who I am. I've been in recovery for about 7 or 8 years, successful at times, not so successful at, oh, this is my son Brandon, this might be funny, it just depends. So everything stops for these guys, so we'll just have to sit tight for a minute. This will not be conducive to, all right, here we go. If he knows I'm streaming though, he won't be normal, so hold on. Hey, what up, bro?
What's up, Dad?
What's up, my man? How's school?
Pretty good. How's your day?
It's been fine. I haven't been up too awful long. You know, I needed to get some sleep, so
Yeah.
I slept half the day here, and we got stuff to do. So we've got running club tonight. You know that?
Aw.
Yeah, you better get your ass ready. I'm not raising a bunch of pussies in here. Go on. I'm kidding.
You do?
What?
You do have running club?
We do have running club tonight, though. It's cool, though. We're going to do trail running. You'll like it.
So is it kind of like hiking?
Yes, it's exactly like hiking, except with running. They used to think I was cool till now. See, it's all about the old bait and switch with these guys. So anyway, it's occurred to me that, hey, bro, I'm doing a live stream here, okay? So I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to knock this out so we can get the F out of here. All right. So Daniel, he won't be home until 4 something. But this started with some video games. I want to go back and address where I've been. So, you know, I have promised through this channel to be completely transparent, and that I believe being the effectiveness of it and what might be beneficial and helpful, not to just addicts but non-addicts alone, because I tend to be able to say everything that most people won't. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And so I have to say, this, whatever this is, the recovering addict, is much bigger than I am at this point, and it's growing really, really, really fast, and quite frankly, it's out of my control now, and I'm almost drowning in it. I don't know what to do. And so with it going the direction that it is, it wouldn't have changed my transparency, but I'm concerned about the appropriateness of some of my content, quite frankly. And so not having the time to go through all of that, I pulled a bunch down. And when I have time to edit, I'll go back and get the early episodes out. And so pull out some of the stuff that might have been, I've recently gone through a loss of a really important relationship in my life, and it's been really, really, really difficult. So that's come with a lot of emotions, and being the kind of person that their strength is effectively communicating how they feel and how others feel a lot of times, and it's hard that then kicking in when I'm angry or upset. I say a lot of things that unfortunately I mean, but that don't need to be said. So I don't want to get in the way of what God's doing here, so I'm trying to step I'm trying to step that back. And quite frankly, I've had 1.5 years to work through it, and so I worked real hard at it the past 3 weeks. I'm tired. I don't like feeling the way I was feeling, and so that's where I've been, quite frankly. And not just that. This is where I started to reintroduce myself. A lot of y'all may have no idea that I'm an athlete and was an athlete and an NCAA athlete, and my life, if it would have gone the way I expected, would be not the recovering addict. It would be the Olympian. And, coaches, I don't know. You have to tell me. I don't know how good I was. I don't know if I was even really that good. But there's no telling what addiction has stolen from me or I've allowed to be taken from me. And so as I return to my normal self, and it's taken like 2.5 years this time around, which is absolutely terrifying to me. I cannot explain what it's like to be asleep for 7 years, a decade at a time, and wake up and be like, where the fuck's everybody at? Where, what have I done now? So it gets confusing coming out of all that, and it takes a long time. So here I am, just at about 2.5 years. I'm like, whew, and I just start behaving like who I really am, and so that's what you see. I am actually a computer scientist and an endurance athlete, and it all actually kind of makes sense when you step back and look at me like that. So that life was stolen from me. Well, it's not been stolen, but let's just say that my fight to keep it is been a little more difficult than it should be. So anyway, if I have offended anybody, in the great words of Eminem, good, tell them I said fuck you too. Okay, I ain't gonna be getting no freaking sponsorships from this. Now I'm gonna have to take a look at it, right? Because I do need it's real exciting, right? I've never had a calling bigger than myself. So y'all are on the ride along with me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm generally listening to a being that is far more intelligent than me, that I couldn't understand what he was doing if he told me anyway. And so it's a shit show, man. It is all a shit show. And if it does not look like a shit show, I assure you that it is. Brandon, isn't it? A shit show around here. Nothing. Don't cuss in front of your kids. Because they go to school and cuss. And then they call and wonder. You gonna say hi? You can step in.
What's up?
You gotta put your head in because of the AI. You gotta put it way in. Poke it, poke it, poke it, poke it. Go, 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 go. Yeah.
What's up?
That's my guy Brandon. He's really freaking amazing. Both my kids are amazing. They're my redemption, because they are me, and nobody can take that away from me. So it's interesting to have some people tell me all about me, and then I look at me and they don't line up. And so those are the kind of things that, like, it's the enemy and you want to remove. So a lot of times God has to grab me like this and be like, this is who you are, not this. This is who I say you are. This is how you behave. These are your words, not really what you're thinking in your mind. And so my observation of my calling and what I'm doing here is it's highly spiritual. It's highly demonic, and a lot of it, and it is designed to kill and destroy people's lives. And so I am fighting the best of the best, I think, in the dark side of the world. And it makes sense why God's chosen me for a thing like this, right? As you watch my slideshow go through, they clearly not a dude who sits around. But so these are all images from what I call the first season of Run From Addiction. Then I had a relapse, so here we are at season 2. And it's crazy waking up from that 10-year sleep and being like, holy shit, man, all this went on. And so here I have half a built nonprofit, and I I just feel like God's like, pick it back up, let's go. So that's what we're doing here. And so yeah, the big story is I run, and I run a lot, and I'm absolutely the most focused, obsessed person you'll ever meet in your life. And so that's another place I've been, getting that part of my life rounded back up and getting the boys involved. And unfortunately, even though it takes all of the time and energy and a lifetime to be a recovering addict, I just don't have that time. So it is completely a matter of not what I do, but of God's grace in my life. And that despite me, He'll use me and continue to use me, and find value in my life. And my sons won't have to come home and find me dead. I won't have to have a wife who, that's how I think now. And a lot of that might be natural with my age, but that's kind of some morbid stuff. And I think about that. It's like a soldier going to war every day. It's, my dudes are dropping like flies. I do not exaggerate, even though it sounds like it. I've had a freaking fantastic life. I mean, it's been out of control. And those experiences have remained intact for this moment, right? So in hindsight, we can maybe get something out of that, or God can milk something out of it. Because we're imperfect, but I guess it's the best He's got here. So anyway, that's where I've been. Anybody that I may or may not have offended, I don't know. I'm not going to reevaluate. I think that my gut and my past experience is that my gut's right, and that so I'm not sorry for any of the content, but maybe I should have kept some things to myself. And what are you gonna do, man? I've only been a recovering addict once. I make mistakes, so anyway, yeah, that's been a tough relationship for me to lose. And it's taken me, Jesus, well, I didn't even know I'd lost it a month ago. So, what a ride. But anyway, so we have the podcast here, The Recovering Addict Live, where we have guests, and actually I have more of those than I know what to do with. I have more content than I know what to do with now. It's a matter of time. And I would like to talk about some volunteer stuff at this point. It's weird. So anybody that knows me will say right away that I do everything myself. I like to learn things, and I think I can do everything better, and I can. Everybody, we can do everything better because it's ours. We just have to take the time to learn. And so this is real difficult for me, but I got to let go of some control of this. Where I'm in the middle of, I think that'd be a good thing to go over, Danny, don't you? I certainly do. So let me talk a little bit about all the moving parts and the pots that are in the pan. And I hate to do it, but I need some help. I need volunteers. I need prayer, number one. Some volunteers would be awesome, number two. Number three, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't like it to. So, prayer. That's huge. So it's ironic, is what I need is, how are you going to be a computer science guy and need a tech support guy? That's what I need. I need a tech guy real bad. It's like this could be very efficient and impactful, and I can communicate well, and boom, 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 boom. But then I got all this stuff going on around me. I got dude coming home. I'm downtown, 13th biggest city in the United States, so I got a lot of traffic out front, and there's a lot of distractions. But then too, audio video engineering is no joke, and so it's difficult for me on the fly to be not only bearing my soul, which is difficult, but then on top of it, producing and on-air talent. And it all sounds kind of crazy when I say it out loud, but the reality of it is that's what you look at. And so if there's any tech dudes out there, which there should be a lot of you that I know, feel free to. We all sound the same though. We're swamped, right? I know. And feel free to search your heart. I need somebody to help me, man. So, that would be great. Now, that kind of segues into what's going on. So I started a charity back about 7 years ago called Run From Addiction, and it has grown despite me even being there. It's crazy, right? And so I'm just kind of riding the community's tailcoats, you know. And so there's some growth, and so it looks like the solution is going to be going on for me to be going nonprofit. What the structure of that looks like, I don't know. John's helping me, John, but he's very much older than me, and he's very much wiser and a lot more conservative as a CFO of a big Fortune 500 company. And so he's wanting to slow this back a little bit, and I'm like, ain't got no reins, but there is no slowing this down. So anyway, I don't know what the structuring of the nonprofit looks like, quite frankly. And it's kind of interesting as a felon who cannot get employment, and as a single father who does not have a job, and I'm below poverty level. Here I am trying to bring awareness to, I think specifically that the calling looks like, well, how does a guy end up, I can't count how many times state champion I was. I'm a state record holder. How does a guy like that end up like this? And so I didn't end up, like, I'm as bad as it gets. Like, I'm as bad of an addict as it gets. And it's hard to see that right like this. This would be a good time where if I had my tech guy, he could pop the picture of me not too long ago in there where I look like a concentration camp victim. And so, you know, as God's kind of weaving me in and out of this, I'll think, well, oh, it looks like this, and I'll start running over here, and he's like, no, dumb, come here, son, come here, sit down. It's not this. You're not going to understand it if I tell you. Let's just keep going. I've never done anything to hurt you. And so that's what this looks like, and I've just learned to start going through these gates, like full steam ahead, boom. Well, having some experience starting a nonprofit, I don't know. I'm clearly the visionary and the vision holder, so I have to go talking about that all the time. I cannot do that in this. You know, I have a schedule of a professional athlete at this point. I'm a full-time student. I'm a single stay-at-home dad with no job. It's not like something has to give, because quite frankly, this is like how my addiction works. So this almost feeds it in a sense. So I love stepping up to the plate. That's something huge like this. I literally live for these moments. But I also want to be wise, and with some of the things that I've learned, it's funny watching God though. There's been times in my life where I'm like, why are you teaching me to be a leader? Like, what does that have to do? I am far from a leader. I'm an addict. I am in treatment. I will never have shit. I will never be in a position to lead anything. Why are you molding me in this way? And it's really cool to look back and start watching that needle thread through to bring you to a time like this. Well, now it's time for me to put that hat on, and it's it's way better than if I could have designed it and engineered it myself. That's another reason why I know it's God. And, you know, the nonprofit so intricately mirrors my life and my experiences, and all of my strengths and all of my weaknesses are used for good. I'm not that smart. Nobody's that smart. And that's, you know, it's those experiences with God where I'm like, whew, man, what WTF. I have some mentors who are some really, legitimately speaking, heavy hitters. They are deep thinkers. They are educated. They're doctors and accountants and you name it. And this is not about Jesus. This show's not about Jesus. I love you, Jesus, but it's not. So, here's what's going on. I just started 3 weeks ago. I have been sedentary for 7 years now, like literally sedentary. I was 220 pounds back in December of last year. And I clearly going through a relationship, coming out of a relapse that was very high profile. Not cool. And coming out of all of that, I don't know where I was going with that. What's my time look like here? I did this last week. It takes forever to go where I'm going. So let's expect some better content on, and this isn't freaking bad. I mean, you gotta say it's coming together, right? In the background, slideshow of the first season, Recovering Addict Live, and also, you know, the relationship that I went through, and some of my less stellar moments, I went through and would remove things on Facebook and stuff, and you know, that's still a part of my life and a part of who I am, and I want to be me and I want to be authentic. So if you've seen a bunch of uploads of everything's cool, nobody's going psycho here, just uploading some content that I had, or changing the audience on some content that I had marked as only I could see. So that's what you're seeing in the slideshow here, and why it differs quite a bit this time around, and just kind of honoring that part of my journey. And you know, hopefully there'll be some satisfaction out of on both sides of this one, that a lot of good's been done from it. I can live with things at that. So it started through, it's probably been a month and a half ago. The athlete part of me started bubbling up in my mind, I guess, is the best that I can tell. And I just woke up one day and I was like, okay, this is it. It's time. It's time to roll again. Well, then my sister happened to call me that evening, and she said, hey, there's a half marathon happening up in Grandview. Do you want anything to do with it? And I'm like, that's kind of crazy, you know. I just decided today that I was ready to get back in the saddle. And so that's where I started running again. And that is who I am. That is what defines me, I would say, as a runner and an athlete. I guess if somebody would probably go back and eulogize me, that would be a big overarching theme in it. And so I just go straight back to who I was, and I'm real tickled with myself. I'm running like a fucking beast. It's crazy. I've been so physically at it. I've been at it for 3 weeks. I went sedentary for 7 years. Right? I mean, I'm talking sedentary. I walked or I ran a mile about 3 times. Then I got on the treadmill and started running like I normally do, and I got hurt. So I took a week then of doing 45 minutes on the elliptical, a week being like three workouts, and then I started working out, doing my upper body strength. And like I hammered an hour run at 720 pace last night. Now, not the brightest thing in the world, but certainly going to. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So that's one thing I liked about this. I didn't know what the journey was going to look like, but I knew I wanted it captured, right? So you can see me as I'm unhealthy a year and a half or two ago. Start. That's what I wanted, was because I knew God was going to bring me to this point, and He's, and even then some. But I wanted the bad stuff, and I'm a little more grateful for it now than I was a year and a half ago or two. And but so my gig is that I want to bring awareness to recovery and addiction in the arena of athletics. There's absolutely zero reason for me to have lived the way I did. It brings up some compelling arguments for addiction and what that's really about and how it happens. But I do know, or my guess is, there are a lot of people, dudes and chicks like me, that have addiction inside the arena of sports, and what happens to us, and kind of how that interplays. So I want to bring awareness to that, and I'm doing that just the best way I know how. You know, it's like God's not blind, but I am. So it's like the blind guy's leading the show down here. He's up there like, no, please, over here, this way. Smoke signals don't work because I'm blind. None of them works because I'm blind. And then, like, I won't listen to anything but myself, so he can't tell me anything either. But, so, in specific is what this looks like. The Recovering Addict does a run from addiction, and that is my charity. And where I just go out and I run like a complete and total badass, and say, okay, well, there is some freedom from addiction after these steps if you do these steps, right? And so that's kind of the most fleshed out that it's ever been, quite frankly, because, like I said, I don't know what I've been doing. I've just been doing it. And so that's where the structuring of it's going to have to be nonprofit. Like, why would I foot the bill for this? And I'm below poverty level. I've been below poverty level for like 15 effing years, right? So how am I going to? I can't even afford a T-shirt, right? I've had $250 come through my hands in probably about 2 years. So, okay, God, you guys start writing some checks then, because how am I going to go to Tokyo in the fall? I bet I'll be there, and that's going to be a sweet moment. How am I going to be in Tokyo? Who's going to take care of the boys while I'm gone? Who's going to pay for the airline ticket? Who's going to? My running shoes are all fucked. I mean, it's like the video game controllers. I'm a pro, so I burn through this stuff in a minute. So it's like I can't fund this, God, nor do I really want to fund it. And then on top of it, my schooling, do I have to choose between what I focus on and things of that nature? So to collect my thoughts, and you guys are helpful in this, it's what's been going on is, number one, appropriateness of content. I know the answer to that one, everybody. Don't worry. I'm becoming more and more confident, like myself again. Number two, running. And why? So number three, we come a long way since the tech updates, haven't we? Yeah, that's real cool. That's good stuff, God. Where are we at time-wise? 35 minutes. This is people. Yeah, people can get on board with this one. So we have a recovering addict. That's just me, right? And that is the nonprofit. That's going to be the nonprofit if it structures the way I think it will. Now, it might need several nonprofits. I don't know. So interesting. Sit back and watch God work and how quickly He works. I joined this running club, and it just so turns out that there's a lot of people interested in helping me get to where I'm going, which is always blows me away, you know, that people even pay attention or care or anything like that. For me, this is just me fighting for my life. I could care less if anybody's watching. I really mean that. I prefer that you don't. And stuff's very personal. It's very embarrassing. Yeah, it's nothing good to me. The only thing that good comes out of it is some freedom. You know, there's nothing like walking out on my front doorstep and saying, there is nothing you can find out about me. There's nothing you can say about me that I haven't told you already. There's nothing anybody can come and tell me that I haven't already said. So there's a ton of freedom in that. I'm like, oof. But outside of that, there's nothing good in it, because when I need to do it, I'm fought like crazy, spiritually speaking, and that's no fun. I wrestle with it, and then the enemy's a deceiver, so I start getting confused. Then I start freaking yelling, cussing out my ex-girlfriend that I haven't talked to in a year. It's like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck's wrong with you, man? So that part gets pretty tough. So we've got the recovering addict then, which is the umbrella. And that you can see the web page I'm working on in the background, the recovering addict. Or, yeah, something like that. I own like half of the internet's real estate when it comes to addiction. Anything addiction. So Chinese recovering addicts, if you need some good URLs that have value already in them, I'm your guy. So then underneath that, the moving pieces are the podcast, which you're watching, which I could use some huge help as another volunteer opportunity would be social networking and management. That would be fan-flippin-tastic, because as a guy who writes software to do this, I don't understand it at all. I have a lot of trouble getting it done, and I think I'm probably a pretty enough nuts to take over text, because my sense of humor is very cynical and amazingly witty, if I do say so myself, although some of my ex-girlfriends wouldn't say that. 1 second. Gotta get some chapstick on. My mouth is dry. So I guess we're all working together to figure out where I'm at here. What's going on with the recovering addict. So we got the recovering addict. That's the overarching umbrella, which is my life, and it just happens to be a nonprofit at this point. Which, when I say that, I don't say that delicately. I don't just wing anything, so I know exactly where I'm at. In the process of gathering board members, and I want as few of those in my way as possible. Because this is my show. It's certainly not going to be any of my boards. It's probably not real helpful when I'm looking for income, but you want the visionary in control. They all go downhill when he's gone. So, yeah, I need 3 board members, and I know who they are. 2 of us know who we are. The third one doesn't yet. So guess what? You've been called and chosen to serve the Lord. Okay. So underneath that, which is just me hoping to add value to the recovery community in some way, shape, or form. That's the most simple way to put it. So underneath that then would be the other buckets or areas, which, ladies, this is how men think, right? I'd take a look at it if I was you, because your life would be much better if, that's all we need, Danny, is advice for women. Focused! Stay focused. So, underneath that umbrella are the buckets of projects for me to make that reality. We've got the podcast here, Recovering Addict Live. We've got the gaming side of it, which is what you may not know is that's where God's really moved the most. I knew that I wasn't going to be going to NAAA. It doesn't work for me anyway. Nothing has. And as I started blindly trying to find someone out there to connect with, it just turns out these gamers are either computer studs or they're addicts. There is no in between. That's all we are. So interesting. I happen to be a professional at both of them. So watching God bring men like moths to a flame. And so we'll just sit up and stay up all night talking about our shit and getting some freedom and praying for each other. And, some cases just to watch men have spiritual experiences. And I'm one of the men, right? I'm not teaching anybody anything. Believe me. I am a guinea pig in this along with everybody else. So to see, and I see the pictures and the proofs in the pudding, right? I know these men intimately at this point, and so to watch their lives go like, it's been really cool. So I mean, the reach has been gigantic, and that's something that y'all don't see, but that's really underneath all of this, feeding every bit of the stuff on top of it. The running, that none of that stuff would happen without God's work down here, churning and making it move. So we have that, which I'll donate my labor of love to that. So then we have my charity, which is Run from Addiction. That being the part that's new to me. Because it's probably my career. And it's weird how things happen, and you don't. It's just you. I've heard people over the years tell me that your calling you won't want to do, you won't really know how to look for it. It's just going to happen. I've been like, that's no fun. That's bullshit. Well, there's a very necessary reason for that, and the reason is that if you were to get high off of in my case, I've been here and done this. I can get high. All these pictures are fantastic, right? It's a fantastic time, and I had having some influence to go along with it, and it's been awesome, right? But that's like feeding this hole in me that needs something to feel complete and whole, and it's not sustainable, right? So it's a drug. It's no different. That was a drug, and you can get I don't want to lose track of where I was at, and I have, quite frankly. So if I'm playing it off like I haven't, this is just what I do. But anyway, so then you got the Run from Addiction, and that's turning out to be a bit of a bigger ball of wax than what I would have thought. So the most awareness I bring is through running. I think some of that has to do with my experience in it and who I already know. And then, I don't know the rest. I don't know why. But I also think it's where the awareness is desperately needed because it's undercover, right? I'm not going to start speaking on it yet. I'll know everything about it tomorrow morning, but in this moment I do not. And I know from my experience that I'm normal, right? I'm a normal person, so mine's going to be the same as everybody else's. And so I would say that there are, it's like Eminem says, there's 100 Slim Shadys just like me who walk like me. Probably get a copyright ding for that. Because that's how good my rap skills are. All right, it's 3:58. I'm going to knock off here. I more than anything just wanted to say hello, let everybody know that I'm healthy and things are going, they're going above well. It's at this supernatural mountaintop part that comes along with kicking the shit out of the tough parts that life throws out of your way. So this time around, I'm not interested in the mountaintop experience. So I'm kind of letting things just cool down a little bit. And it's time that it be packaged more professionally because it's just grown bigger than me. So anybody that watches or that interacts with me, I have no idea what I'm doing if it comes off like I am, and I need help, a lot of help. So anybody who would like to get involved in any way, shape, or form, we never know if it can be helpful. And if you, that'd be great. I need that. Because I need a life outside of this, and I don't. And so this is what I do. I step up to the plate to things. I'm ready to roll. And so just to give... This is funny. I have not sat down to think through this yet, right? I'm just going to throw it out there. This is what's going on. But this is what I found myself doing. Talking to an agent. So, and here, I guess, as I do think about it, this is God restoring me to where I should have been. So it's like, well, how do you restore a 27-year-old guy to his, like, to be an athlete? You know, how do you give that back to a guy? And so it's interesting. It's going to be through the experience. He's going to give back the experience. I know who I am. I've got medals and records books I don't need to even talk about that, right? So I know who I am as far as an athlete. I know how that would have gone. But it was the experience that I would have missed out on. So here I am. We're putting on a race here in Columbus called Run From Addiction for the charity. And so I'm a race director, right? And that's kind of the natural progression of like guys who would be an athlete. I would have been a gym teacher, maybe coached, who knows? And I would have stepped into something like this. So he's giving me that back. He's giving me my running back. He's giving me, I guess, what I would have had now in that journey. So I'm a race director. It's weird. And then as I'm learning about that over the past week or 2 weeks, what is sponsorship? What is that as opposed to being a partner and things of that nature? Well, it turns out that, yeah, absolutely. If anybody needs sponsored, I need sponsored. Well, that's weird. How do you get sponsored as an athlete when, bro, you're just not any good anymore? So we could say that. That's fair. And, well, I'm going to give it back to you like this. So, fleshing through the race stuff, t-shirts, basically. I was talking to my partner here in town for the race, and I assumed that they would want to field the t-shirts and stuff like that. I assumed wrong. And so that led me down this path of, okay, well, I want Nike, period. We're having Nike. I don't care if I have to pay for the shirts myself. Which I will go out on this corner and I will hook. I haven't gotten laid in a long time. I will go hook out on this corner, no problem. If you know where I'm from, I mean that. It's right out there. But I'll pay for the shirts myself if that's what we have to do. So we're going to go Nike. And, well, guess what? You don't just call Nike. You can't get a hold of them. They come after you. So, okay, great. How is Nike going to come after me when I suck? And so starting down that journey, I contacted an agent to represent me and talk to him about who I am and what my gig is. So they're calling Nike. So here it looks like now I'm a race director. I have an agent, which is what I would have had my senior year in college. And I'm going to be sponsored by Nike. I'm telling you, that's just what's going to happen. I know that. So I'm going to fly all over the world doing the marathon majors and just bringing awareness to something that people need not to forget. I think that, or I know that statistically speaking, we've lost a lot of numbers there, and we should be talking about that over the bullshit that, well, I can't come up with any examples because I don't watch it, but I know it's out there. I see it on my feed and stuff like that. So, man, I want to cross my legs over like a chick so bad right now. Oh, it feels so good. I know, it's funny, isn't it? You hear Brandon. He's like, he's funny, man. So, we're happy and healthy, and we're doing well. And that is in great part because of y'all. So, please continue to feed my focus and my drive, and that is the biggest thing you can do. Is it's cheesy. You could like and subscribe. If you don't think I'm a fucking retard, you could let me know that. That helps tremendously me to continue what I'm doing. That's the most as far as I'm concerned, that's the commodity that I would need out of everything. So let me know if I'm not an idiot, man, because I sure feel like it. I feel like a complete failure. I would feel like I'm not very smart. I don't feel loved. I feel like my life's been a waste. And basically, I sit here and reap the consequences of my actions through lost relationships and, mistakes that I've made that are causing me not to be able to work and stuff like that. And that stuff you might not have a lot of sympathy for, and frankly I never did either, and until I was in those boots. And people with felonies cannot work, and if they do have a job, it's like a decade afterwards. And so, man, it's keeps me nervous. So I'm going to pray, and I'm going to go to my run club with my sons, who are beasts. And I like that kind of. I try not to be one of them, but believe me, it's good to see. And God, you're really, 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 really good to me and my family. And it's hard for me to even think about it without tearing up a little bit. So thank you. Thank you for my life. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for all the experiences that I've had, good and bad, the things that I've kept, the things that I've lost. Thank you for every bit of that, God, because it has brought me to this place of freedom to a certain extent, and I'm grateful for that. God, I just pray that anybody who's out there listening, any ears that happen to hear this prayer, that you just bless them and their households and their families and protect them, and do all that good stuff that you do. God, I look, this is how we talk. I can't do I'm just not, God, I'm not doing the prayer thing right now. I'm going to knock this off. We love you. Thanks for everything. Everybody, this has been Recovering Addict Live. come and check me out again. I'll get this up on YouTube probably now. I'm not going to need to edit. I did a few things to keep me from having to do that. Everybody, thanks for the support. It's exciting. We're having a good time, and we will see you soon.